Let us see the first game of the match.
Arvind hits the clock and here our game begins. Suraj pawn to d4. Arvind pawn to e6. Suraj pawn to e3. Pawn to d6. Suraj develops knight to f3. Arvind pawn to c5. Suraj pawn to c4. And there Arvind captures pawn and takes d4. Suraj recaptures pawn, takes d4. Arvind now plays pawn to d5. Suraj takes knight to c3. Arvind captures pawn at c4. Suraj recaptures pawn with bishop at c4. Arvind, giving it a thought, now plays giraffe at d6. Suraj castles kingside, keeping the safety of this king a priority. Now what will Arvind play? Arvind develops knight to f6. Suraj plays pawn to b3. Arvind does not rush in with the game. He mindfully now plays queen to c7. Suraj, also analyzing the board, plays bishop to b2. The game keeps getting interesting. Arvind should now try and steady his defenses, and so I think he does. And there he goes and plays giraffe to g5. Now it's Suraj's move, and there he goes and captures Arvind's giraffe at g5. The game seems to lean over to Suraj's side, but it's still too early to jump to conclusions, as the game can turn upside down with just one right move from Arvind. And now let's see what our 6 times hat-trick hero decides to play. And there he goes, plays bishop to d6. Suraj now goes ahead. And there he goes and retreats his knight to f3. Smart retreat, but you can see Suraj is setting up something bigger. Arvind now tries to think fast and castles kingside. Suraj pushes knight to b5. Arvind now goes in. He's in the board and now he is hesitant but steady. Brings queen to safety, moving it to d7. Suraj thinks about the next move and captures pawn on d6. Arvind recaptures the knight with queen to d6. Exchanges are heating up. Suraj develops giraffe to c3. Suraj keeps building up his position, calm but deadly. His smart and strategic game shows us what it means to be a 9 times hat-trick hero. Arvind now tries to play safe and brings queen back to c7. Suraj plays rook to c1. The rook move adds pressure. Arvind is already thinking about his defense. Arvind now develops his knight to c6. Knight enters the battlefield with strength, but Suraj has seen these steps before and is ready for it. Suraj now develops giraffe to d0. Unusual placement, I'll say. Maybe Suraj is aiming for control later. You can feel the audience holding their breath. Both players are slowing down here. Nerves are kicking in. Now what will Arvind play? Arvind now goes in and takes queen to d6. Suraj should now go ahead. Suraj goes ahead confident and places giraffe to e3. Another giraffe joins in the action and the game keeps getting interesting. As each move passes, Arvind must now respond carefully. What will Arvind do now? Arvind goes in and plays queen to f4. Look at that queen advance. Arvind is trying to bite back into the game. Suraj is pausing here. He looks calm at the board, but is he calculating a sacrifice? The tension is electric. Arvind, our 6-time hat-trick hero, knows how to pressure opponents. But don't forget, Suraj is a 9-time hat-trick hero himself and he thrives in these sharp positions. He might be preparing for a sharper counter. And there he goes. Suraj's giraffe captures knight at f6 and quick Arvind recaptures giraffe with queen at f6. Was that a fair trade for Suraj? Was the giraffe sacrifice a smart move? Arvind's queen stays strong in the center. Suraj now plays rook to b1. Suraj's rook slides in with an intent. What big move is Suraj planning? Pressure keeps building on the board. This is where champions are tested. Arvind is on the side now. Arvind should go in faster. The time is clicking. Arvind goes in and plays queen to f5, refusing to back down. Suraj develops bishop to d3. Arvind, valuing his every second, plays queen to d5. Suraj looks like he already planned it and takes bishop to c4. Arvind takes his queen back to f5. The queen keeps dancing around the board. But for how long? Suraj is pushing Arvind into tight corners. Both players now know that one slip could decide the entire game. This is classic chess tension. Neither player's giving in an inch. Arvind has to be careful not to overplay his queen. The audience can't look away from this duel. Suraj takes rook to e1 and strikes the clock. The rook joins the attack as Suraj tightens the noose. What will Arvind play now? Arvind goes in and plays knight to e7. Suraj goes in and plays bishop to a3. Arvind plays rook to e8. Defensive move, but Suraj is circling in. He goes in and moves around the board in confidence, takes bishop to b2. Now let's see what move Arvind plays to maintain his dominance in the game. He takes his knight to g6. Arvind is trying to replay. Suraj now goes in and plays knight to e5. His plan looks sharper, but Arvind will not back down this easily. Arvind should go fast and not waste his time. He goes in and plays knight to f4. Both knights are crashing now in the center of the board. It is hard to look away from the game. This is where tactics decide everything. Suraj develops queen to f3. Suraj has the momentum, but so does Arvind. Both the players know that one slip here could cost them the entire game. You can almost see the calculations running in their minds. Arvind knows if he survives this phase, he can flip the game. That's why he does and goes and play bishop to d7. Suraj smells the opening and he goes and captures bishop on d7. Arvind under serious time pressure now. Every second feels like fire. He needs to manage his clock and find his way back into the game. Arvind looks at the board, tensed. What will he do now? Arvind should think fast. He goes in and plays rook to d8. He's holding on with his rook. He can survive this, can he? Suraj knight back to e5. At this stage, every single move feels like walking on a tight rope. The pieces are fewer, but the pressure is heavier than ever. Arvind now plays pawn to g6. Here, Arvind tries to push back, but this pawn may not be enough. Suraj is circling in like a predator over the board. Suraj moves rook to d1. Calm rook move, preparing for the final blow. Arvind moves his king to f8. Maybe Arvind is trying to escape, but the net is tightening around him. Our 9 times hat-trick hero is not ready to let the game out of his hand. Suraj moves the queen across the board and captures pawn at b7. Arvind plays his queen to g5. The queen is back in action, but it looks desperate. Suraj goes in and captures pawn on f8 with the queen, with check to the black. Arvind tries saving the king with the king to e9. Suraj delivered his check with power, and Arvind's king is now running for his life. The crowd knows this is close to the end. Suraj's precision is brutal, and Arvind's defense is cracking wide open. Arvind still has hopes and continues to play with dedication. He must look for resources fast enough. The arena is silent, all eyes fixed on the board. This could be the moment. Suraj is pushing hard, showing why he is the 9-time hat-trick hero. Every second on the clock feels like lifetime. Now all eyes are on Suraj, wondering he will play next. Suraj should think fast. Suraj goes in and develops his giraffe to d3. Now Arvind needs to play very strategically and with a calm mind. And I think that he has his move in his mind and he throws in as his tactical check with knight to h3. But will this help him? Suraj takes king to safety at f1. No panic at all. What move will Arvind play now? Knight to f4. We are right at the edge. One wrong step and it's over. Suraj smells victory. Arvind is hanging by a thread. Suraj goes in and plays knight to d7. Another check. Suraj tightens the screen. Arvind's rook to d7 captures the knight. Suraj goes and recaptures rook on d7. Queen dominates the center. This is crushing. Arvind goes ahead with move and places rook to f8. The rook is clinging on, but it looks hopeless. Suraj is already lining up the finishing blows. The crowd is at the edge of their seats. Suraj goes ahead and plays pawn to g3. Arvind should play fast, goes ahead and plays knight to h3. The knight is desperate, but it won't hold back. Suraj takes the queen to c7 with check. He is hammering every weakness. Arvind king to e8. Dear viewers, unfortunately due to a technical issue we were unable to show you the final 10 moves of this thrilling battle. But what a game it has been. After a fierce fight, Suraj sealed the win with a brilliant checkmate in 46 moves. Arvind fought hard, but in the end, Suraj proved why he's one of the most consistent performers. This is the first history on the board for Suraj. Now he's ready to take 2 moves in the league. Let us see what happens.